Hello all newcomers, and welcome back my fellow Eternians. Thank you all so much for joining me. As always, it is Emperor AP. Welcome to the Empire of Aeternia's live stream. Today, we are specifically talking about our development as a nation and kind of looking at what we're doing now, how we're progressing, and trying to estimate a future for ourselves, trying to understand better how it looks that we're going to be moving forward so that we can improve our movement forward and so that we can actually grow our ability to respond to the way that we're affecting things. You know, it's always good to be monitoring yourself. It's always good to be cognizant of your own abilities. You can disconnect this one. You can just go in the top, Bluetooth hub. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We have 5 people viewing so far. Thank you guys very much. While you guys hang out with us for a moment, I was gonna say, definitely please like this stream. We are in an interesting point in our development right now, and so I think if you guys haven't subscribed, I recommend you do. The thing that we are focusing on today, talking about building our future and talking about how that looks from our current perspective, is a little bit hard because we have, you know, as a micronation, we have few resources. We only have the resources we've been developing through other platforms to monitor our own growth. So, you know, we have some of our bigger highlights, I suppose, would be our YouTube statistics, which obviously are going into helping to affect our economy. Once we hit our watch time hours, that's going to be something that actually breaks through in a major way for us and allows us to get a big economic boost. But from there, we're also looking at things like our culture, you know, how much people are as Eternians and what that means. For us, that's kind of hard to get accurate measurements of, but a great way to do that is actually to watch the purchases on our Etsy store, as well as by seeing people in our live chat. And so we have a number of citizens as well who have joined us who all are consistently supporting the ideas and development of Aeternia in the direction that we're moving in. So we're going to look at kind of how we're measuring those statistics and ultimately culminating this concept of what's going to bring us into the future, how we are going to use those different data pools that we have right now to be able to show a semi-accurate model of, well, if we were just to continue on the same path, if we don't accelerate, if we don't change, if we just stay on this track, how good can it get? And then from there trying to look at, okay, well, where are our weak points to see what we can fix and bring out the better in our nation. So first, I do want to go ahead and give a greetings to everybody. We have some wonderful citizens who have been waiting and people hanging out in the chat with us. Liana, one of our fantastic citizens and our first aristocrat, is saying hello AP. Hello Liana. Liana is the current first aristocrat on our aristocrat board. She is number 1. She is the wealthiest person in the imperial economy, so that's fantastic. Republic of South Nor says hello. Liana says greetings South Nor. They're talking back and forth. President Kibe of South Nor, how are you? They said they had rain, and I hope South Nor has recovered well from the rain, or has potentially benefited from it and its nutrients, and the moisture that it allows in your environment to help preserve the ecosystem. Frog Sauce says, what's up? What's up, Frog? How are you? How's the orangutan religion going? Leona says, it started off being 42 degrees Fahrenheit around 10 a.m. It was 46 and rain. Then around 11 it was 38 and turned into a rain-snow mix. That's crazy. Wow. And that's insane, man. I don't know that I can handle it being that cold in May. Hey. Tiffany is actually helping out so much. If you guys can't see Tiff, she is behind us. She is hanging out, actually helping us with the social media part. That's one of the biggest aspects of our stream. I'm trying to get her in the shot, but also fix it. Hey, there we go. Okay, maybe, just maybe. Let's see if that helps a little bit, or is it this side? It's this side. Okay, that's what it is. Let's see if we can't put this one down. Does that work? Kind of. Okay, here we go. Hey, I hope that's better for everybody. Yes, so we have a few different things. It seems what? Darker? Yeah, I pulled down the other one, because before it was like shining really bright on my face. Leanna says, I can't complain, still doing research on a legal argument I'm writing. Ooh, I'm interested to hear about that. Please let me know how it goes. Edwin says, nice, good to hear. Hey, Edwin, it's good to see you. I didn't mention you a moment ago. I'm sorry. Hey, Shwari. Shwabi. Sharabi. Hello, it's good to see you as well. I'm glad that you all can be joining us tonight. So Volt as well joining in. How's it going? It's going great, Volt. I hope you're doing well. So the thing I wanted to show you guys, let me pull up our YouTube statistics, because our watch time has been steadily growing, which is good. We aren't at a huge acceleration rate right now, but we aren't slow by any means. We are steadily building up, and the thing that's interesting about that is it gives us a good marker to sort of project out to the future from, because it's a fairly stable point. But as well, it makes us look at, if we were to get just a little bit more acceleration going, if we were to get just a little bit more momentum going, what does that mean on the back end for us? What does that mean in large scale for us? So right now we have 565 views in the last 48 hours on the channel. That's fantastic. In the last 28 days, we've had 5,000 views, which is 267 more than the last 28 days, or usual of our average. We got 236.8 watch time hours, which is 36.8 more than usual, and we got 60 subs, which is 9 more than usual. So you guys are helping not only our growth, but our acceleration in that. We are continuing to advance and move our way with ease toward the watch time hours that we need, this 4,000 watch time hours a year. And so as you can see with this little chart slowly growing up with our views going from 1.3 to our views of 1.3 thousand just in this week, 66 watch time hours this week, 13 additional subs this week. All of that helping us to continue to grow and to accelerate. As you can see, the trend is pretty the same. There's a peak up here, then some dip down, and then a peak, and then the largest peak. And then same thing here, dip up, dip down, dip up, largest peak. And then same here, dip up, dip down, dip up, largest peak. So yeah, the trends seem to be following each other, but it's really cool for us, because that means that, especially with something big like this, a large jump up, the trends really start to appear once you go into the 90 and 365 day marks. As you can see here, we have these larger spikes which will kind of happen, but overall we are starting to get to the point where we're getting steady with subscribers. These are the big things that I would like to highlight, are these moments where there are bumps where every single day we never hit zero. We never hit zero for all this time, starting there. We never hit zero, we never hit zero. We may hit 1, but we'll never hit 0. And so then it slowed down again, and we started having zeros again. Then we started picking up again, and then we started slowing down again. And so now we're starting to get to a point where we're trying to get those marks again, where we just don't hit 0 for a certain amount of time. So one of the things that's surprising is we'll have some moments that are like this, these really big peaks that will then go down into a big drop. And I think that's just a fluctuation thing with the way that YouTube sees how they go. As well, I think it's probably just a statistical development. But I would be curious to learn more as to if there was a particular video or a particular thing that comes out around that time that would affect that. But looking into those reasons, those dips as well is important. So, like I said, you can start to see with our views. It took a little bit when looking at, what is this, 365 days? Yeah, it took a little bit for us to get much larger peaks consistently. You know, the average jumping up right in the beginning, but then coming down to right around here and kind of hovering around that area for a little bit, only to now be starting to climb kind of higher and higher. If this projection is correct, let's see, that's 324, which was higher than our second highest ever peak, right, which was, or almost higher than our second highest ever peak, which was at, almost there, 361. Okay, so not quite there. Our largest has been 459 thus far. And so we are now starting to hit points that are getting eerily close, 362 on April 12th, getting eerily close to passing our large A. So actually that is our second highest hump. That's crazy. So yeah, slowly but surely growing our actual channel average is really important, and seeing how that projection continues to follow is really cool. Multiple things. South North says, I have to edit all night long and hang out with you guys. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. Hello, South North. Frog Sauce says, hey, Winslow, how is orangutanism in Aeternia going? I appreciate it. I am curious to see how it's developing. You're the one who's doing the religion. As a government official, I'm not going to interfere in any religion. I'm not going to show my support for any religions. But I'm glad yours is developing. I hope to hear more about how it's developing in my nation. Leona says, the bass in this song sounds awesome in my Bluetooth headphones. Hey, I'm so glad to hear that. Shravi says, I'm thinking about starting a micronation. What should I know before starting? A lot. So first off, I would recommend joining other micronations before you start your own. We've talked about this a lot on the channel. I recommend you go back and watch our videos about it. One of them is why you shouldn't start a micronation. And that's just talking about not necessarily saying that micronations are bad. What it's saying is that people a lot of the time start micronations. They get into micronationalism, they get into the community, and then all of a sudden they say, oh, cool, everybody's starting nations, let me start a nation. That's how I'll get into the community. But that shouldn't be your first interest. Your first interest should be trying to see what nations are out there, trying to get involved with the community that's already established, because it's a hard thing to start a nation. And a lot of time we rely on each other, other micronationalists, to help develop us. And so for what it's worth, you need to pay respect to the nations that have already been built and already been developed. If you go out there and you find that, hey, the ideas that I had are just completely unique, and there aren't other nations out there like it, then yeah, sure, go ahead and make a micronation. You probably have a really good idea for one. But everybody has very, very good ideas, and a lot of the time, those are mixes and mashes and compilations of other micronations that are out there. So I would say if you can find a micronation that fits pretty well with what you're interested in, and you just have some ideas inside of that may be slightly different, work inside that micronation, learn about that micronation, help them to develop and grow, because it'll give you a lot of skills. It'll also allow you to continue to advance yourself in the community, meet new people. You just can't go wrong. If you find yourself at the end of that saying, well, I still want to start my own micronation, I have all this stuff I want to do, then go ahead and develop that. But it's important to have the skills and knowledge necessary to continue to grow that. And as well, in the process, you will have made a lot of friends if you're just working for other micronations, developing other nations before trying to develop your own. So that's what I would say. Before starting a micronation, join another micronation. Have experience in micronationalism. Just like you wouldn't invest all your money in a business making cars if you've never, built a car or know anything about cars. You would want to first go and work somewhere where you can build and understand what makes certain cars good, certain cars bad. Learning about the process of building a car, the designing, all the different components that are going to be required. And you have to get training and skills in that, and understanding the business of it, and the mechanic side of it. so that you can make a well-informed decision as to whether starting that business is right for you. In the same way with a micronation, you shouldn't just take it on lightly. If you're really wanting to start a country, that means you are going to say you want people to invest some part of their life, if not their whole life, committing their entire physical living situation to be in your nation. You have to protect those people. You have to provide for those people. And so before just jumping into it, it would be important to think about, am I truly the right person to do this? Or are there other micronations that may be further along in developing what I'm trying to develop, or a very similar version, that I would be like taking funding and things away from by trying to start my own? I think innovation is the key to growth, and so having a lot of micronations is really, really cool, because it means that everybody's thinking of new ideas and trying to, push the limits of what can be done. But if there are so many people trying to create micronations and micronationalism that we can't have sustainable citizenship populations and support for nations, if we can't fund nations, what are we doing? You have to be able to join another nation. You have to be able to support your fellow micronationalist before you come to the table and say, well, I have my own idea and this is how I want to make things better. If people are trying to change the world out here, they really, really are. And so it's hard to just jump in and think that you're the big guy on campus, so to speak. Frog Sauce says, I was in his great 2 streams on Twitch. Ooh, very cool. I'm glad to hear. Frog said, mostly because I am the mod. Kibe said, nice. Leana said, Shravi, check out the videos on the Aeternia and Empire channel. AP has a series of videos on the subject. Yes, I sure do. Frog says, does Aeternia have any cool cities? We sure do. So, at cities, ooh, that's a broad term, I guess. No, we don't have cities. We do have 2 different territories. So we have a northern and a southern territory, which you can actually check out on our micronational map on our website. If you pop over to there, I'll just flash it for you guys real quick on screen. But if you go there, you can see both our northern and southern territories. Dun, dun, dun. And so go on there, check it out, see what you can find, and keep updated with us, because ultimately we don't have cities yet, but we're trying to purchase land. We're trying to build up the treasury so that we can fully develop ourselves in the way that we want to here, and that is building those citizenship establishments, those housing units for people, those stores for us, restaurants, developing a community, absolutely, and having those eventually become cities. So we're not there yet, but that's the way that we're working. Leanna, you could help us, Frog, you could help us to make one of those cool cities if you wanted. Leanna says, the legal is on the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. One group says it applies only to the militias. The other side says it's for individuals. Frog says, like a capital. Right, so we have our northern, it's interesting. So people ask where the capital is. The capital just travels with me. Like, it's not necessarily about what part is the capital, because I'm the ruler and de facto, authority in Aeternia. Things go through me regardless of where I am. So the capital is wherever I am. There isn't a firm capital. Frog says, or not. Leanna says, the reality is that it applies to both individuals, because individuals make up the militia. General Kibe of South North says, one of my favorite emperors. Frog says, but I'm not sure what is happening in Aeternia. What do you mean? What would you like to know? Kibe says, I have some good news from Sanctimonia. Please let me know. Restovia says, update me on everything. I've been gone for 6 months. Ooh, okay, we sure will. Leanna says, starting a micronation is like trying to build a house without knowing what a hammer looks like. Leanna said, greetings, Restovia. Frog says, also, you also have sand crabs. I like the crabs. They are scavengers. What do they scavenge? Is there a cactus man that lives in Aeternia? Maybe pet worms? So they are scavengers. If you actually go back to some of our oldest videos, you will see the Garys. I had 2 rosy wolf snails that I was taking care of at one time, and they were an absolute delight. You can, like I said, go check back some of our videos to see that, but the sand crabs, the toodaloos, as the Cajuns call them, is a scavenger. Generally, those sand crabs will come out at night on the beach, late afternoon to nighttime, and what they'll do is they'll actually wait for dead, just rotting matter to plant matter, animal matter, to wash up on shore, and then they'll run down and sort of pick at it and get stuff. So any dead fish that wash up, and hermit crabs or anything like that, like they'll just come and get whatever they can, jellyfish or anything. Shravi says, what is the name of that map? You have to go to our website to view that map. It's our micronational map, but it is on our website. Our website is eternianempire.wixsite.com/imperial market. So eternianempire.wixsite.com/imperial market. And you can join us on there. Also, thank you guys. We have 9 viewers so far. Tonight is going to be an hour-long stream, so we got to try and get those view numbers up as high as possible. We got to hit it up. We got to hit it up hard. I appreciate you guys joining us so far. My big plan for next stream as well, and not just next stream, but for the next few videos, is I want to actually have some nice cool content to put out for you guys, and I have a few things in mind as far as like crucial developments for Aeternia soon, which is why I want to talk about the future. So Joseph Hackley says, hey, what site are you on? We are on eternianempire.wixsite.com/imperial market. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat for you all. It's also in the description of the video, but just in case, I figured I would donate that over to y'all. Greetings, Joseph, as well. Thank you for joining the channel. And yeah, this is a map of micronations around the world who have registered with us. In fact, if you would like to register your own micronation, like I have talked about previously, you can go to the Micronations of the World side, go down to apply for the map, and it takes you straight to the application. So read over that, fill it out, send it in, and get yourself on the map. Get your nation on the map. Frog says, I'm going to make a Wix site. Hey, very cool. Leanna said, greetings and love to Tiffany. Tiff said, greetings. Kibe says, Kibby with IE. Sorry if it sounded rude, but I was given the opportunity to be a general for Sanctimonia. Hey, very cool. But you're of a different micronation. How does that work for you? Frog says, I like how I looked up Wix and I got to GoDaddy somehow. Exactly, they're trying to get that traffic. Frog says, Joseph says, what would the requirements to be on the map be? You have to have a micronation, first off, but the requirements are basically you have to send the address of your nation or GPS coordinates of the nation, something that I can plug into Google Maps and will give me an accurate thing. You can't put territories that you just like claim or whatever. They have to be territories that you live on, that are yours, like property by definition. If you don't personally own it, like it needs to be in your family or something. Don't just like throw in a random thing. If you want, you can be like close to a place or whatever, like you don't actually have to dox yourself. You don't have to give away your information. You can put it as like a park in your town or something, but it needs to be nearby so that you can actually reach somebody who may contact you who's in a nearby micronational community. So it really is about reaching out and finding contacts for people and for getting involved with the nations who are part of the map. So if you are taking that seriously and you want to be a part of that, you can fill out that application. It'll tell you everything it needs, but you're going to need a contact email, GPS coordinates, flag, name of your nation, leader's name, stuff like that. So go ahead and fill that out, and I'm excited to see you on there. Volt says, hey man, I posted a comment a bit up that has a question in it that I would be interested to hear your answer about. Okay. I will get in. Volt says, I've been thinking of ways to add something about Empire of Aeternia in a Doctor Who fan game I've been making, so that I could make a video about it. Ooh, very cool. I would love that. Yeah, would you be making a video for our channel, or would you be making like your own thing? But also, my suggestion for it, I would say, one of the cool things that Aeternia has, which we are particularly excited about, and which we've been celebrating, is the Aristocrat board. The Aristocrat board here on our website, and I actually need to modify it a little bit so that it can be seen easier. But I'm gonna just pull it into another window. The thing that benefits me about being able to view this is that you can have all of our citizens, and you can see their development as aristocrats on the aristocrat board in our economy. So I'm not sure exactly how your Doctor Who game is going to be set up, but if you were able to like go into a specific room or something, or go like down the street of a city and you were to see the aristocrat board, I think that would be really, really cool. As well, you can always use like our symbol and stuff, our flag, but yeah. If you were to show something off about Aeternia, I think the micronational map is cool, but that's kind of a hard one to do. Of course, our land purchase funding, we're steadily trying to get that 10K. And then the aristocrat board being this symbol of Aeternians who have supported us and who have shown us love, and who have invested in our economy. So I think that's one of the more impressive things that we've done. If you want to look at that as a potential avenue for developing something in the game. I hope that helps. Lana says, Volty skips over the comments sometimes. I sure do. Kibe says, dual citizenship. Somehow I kind of dissolved, but I still have South Nor. Ooh, interesting. How is that? How does that work? Truto says, yo, greetings, Truto. How are you? Lana said, greetings, Truto. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I am glad to see everybody hanging out. And it's really cool that you're developing the game. I'd be excited to hear more about it. So, let's get into it. One of the things that I wanted to do is fix this aristocrat board and get into talking about the future a little bit. So, let me go ahead and slam that right there. Save and publish now. Congratulations. Okay, cool. So now we should be good to refresh and fix the aristocrat board. Hey, there we go. Okay, so here's the aristocrat board. As you can see, all the developments for it. We have our alliances, culture, and founding, and then our info there. Goodness. Ooh, okay. Truto says, would Aeternia legalize drugs? Yes. So, I think that would be kind of one of the things that I want to talk about in a future video, like Aeternia dealing with like crime and stuff. But as far as the basics go, we don't want to jail people, we would want to rehabilitate people. But at the same time, citizenship for us and the way that we've developed is something that you have to earn. It's not something that you're given, even as someone who's born in Aeternia. Of course, there's a certain time period with which you have to earn your citizenship, but people have to be able to uphold certain criteria in order to stay citizens of the Empire of Aeternia. So we will provide for those citizens and give them every opportunity to develop that. But if they choose something that's different, and if they like want to break the laws and stuff, they can just be asked to leave at any time, and that would be the biggest enforcement thing we would have. But what we would really want to do is for people who are a part of our society, for people who, you know, are our family members and our friends who we care about and we love, who may have drug problems or who may have other issues going on in their personal life. We want them to be able to succeed, and we want them to be able to do well just like any other Aeternian. So we would want to help those people. We would want to rehabilitate those people. We would want to do everything we could and then seek help beyond us. Hopefully being able to afford to provide those people with solid health insurance so that they can actually go and see doctors and get visited by professionals who could assist them in that to make sure that they get all the care that they need. But we wouldn't arrest people. We wouldn't make it a crime. We wouldn't make you pay fees because you were caught with drugs or something like that. We would, however, if it became a problem with like something else linked in, we would probably just either like make an ultimatum being like rehabilitation stuff, like you gotta go and do rehabilitation stuff, or you gotta just leave. Like we just can't have people like just not like causing problems because we're not gonna jail people. So that's the way that we would look at it. Shravi says, I was looking at islands for sale. Not as expensive as I thought it would be. Seems like an interesting idea for a micronation. Absolutely. And there are definitely some ideas to talk about there. Volt says, oh, totally. I could even go a bit further and add NPCs that are from the aristocrat board. Yeah, that would be very, very cool. I would love to see that. As well, if you... my voice is cracking. As well, if you would like to actually make a video exclusive for our channel that we could show off, I would love to like advertise the game and stuff. Like if you made a thing for us and you were like, it has the aristocrat board and it has the citizen, I would definitely like share that and give people hype about it. I think we would love it. Lana says, how about putting the Aeternian flag in the game and have a link to the website? Agreed. I would love that. Kibe says, could you take my nation off the map, please, when you get the chance? Sure. So you need me to take your nation off the map, but you still have the nation? Frog says, the future 20% of the population believes in orangutan god? Exactly. You gotta know how to develop this pitch, my guy. I believe in you. I think you got the solid orangutan religion pitch. Volt says, yeah, I could do that as well, just the game won't be out for a while, so I'd end up having to update links and stuff when the game is finished. Makes sense. Leanna says, the ultimate punishment, banishment from the Empire? Exactly, that would kind of be the thing. Like, we're not trying to murder people, we're not trying to, like, cage people and treat them like animals. We want everybody to be able to work happy and free alongside each other. And if at any point somebody becomes like a big issue in society, we just say no thank you. No, we don't. You can decide to live somewhere else. Trudeau says, me too as a believer of rehabilitation. Jailing people should be a thing of the past. It doesn't work. Agreed. Trudeau says the only time they should is when during rehabilitation the criminal is dangerous psychologically. I definitely think there are like things that can be navigated through with that as well. So obviously you wouldn't want somebody who is dealing with something that may be affecting their perception of the world, whether it's themselves or someone else, or the potential to harm themselves or someone else. You wouldn't want to just leave that person completely unmonitored. But I think there would be ways as well to still try to encourage in that person habits of a more normal life, and being able to figure out alongside professionals how that person could actually function more normally day to day without necessarily just throwing that person in a cage and saying, well, we're gonna keep you on lockdown. I think slowly reintegrating that person and developing help for them in a specific and tuned way to their growth is important. Red Dark Wolf 96 says, hello Red Dark Wolf, it's good to have you. As well, if you don't know what we are a micronational YouTube channel. We have created a country, the Empire of Aeternia. We have a website, we have a micronational map, we have a whole bunch of stuff for you to check out. continuing to talk about the future of the Empire of Aeternia as well. So if you're interested, please subscribe. It helps us out so much. And guys, we're at 11 viewers. Please like that video. It helps us a ton to get the word out about what's happening. Volt says, yeah, no, let's take away someone's freedom. I do believe that murder is the reason someone should be locked up. Is the only reason someone should be locked up. Makes sense. And again, I think even for like murder, there are circumstances where that's just rehabilitation. I don't know that there's anything that just isn't completely, isn't at least a little bit treatable, you know, isn't at least a little bit improvable. Leanna says, I'm familiar with Wolf Boy. Red Dark says, have you ever heard of Wolf Boy or Fosro? I don't think so. Leanna says, she's familiar. Trudeau says, at this time the concept of prison and jail sounds so primitive when you describe it. It is. It's pretty crazy. And it's hard to, you know, it's hard to justify as things continue to get better, as medicine continues to get better, as, you know, economics around the world, as technology continues to get better, as we advance, you know, culturally, societally, in our morals. It is weird to still just be like locking people up for their entire lives because they like broke a human rule. It is kind of interesting. Let's see here. Exactly, that's what we're doing. We're just throwing them out.
Unless you're Roman, then you did just capture people.
Yeah, it was reverse. They did reverse.
That's where it started.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely.
Hey, we have 9 viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out. Leanna says, I agree, Trudeau. Hey, I'm glad we're all in agreement, too. It's very, very cool to have these kind of conversations while we hang out. Especially because Leanna's a citizen and she's actively helping us to develop and to grow. And so it's cool to hear citizen thoughts on stuff as we're talking about them and as we're continuing to develop them. So one of the big things for us that is coming to fruition and needing to be something that we continue to develop on is our YouTube statistics, how we're doing in that, how we're continuing to try and grow, but also trying to look at the deeper meaning of that and understand, you know, what concepts and what ideas are working for us and why are they working. And I think one of the biggest things that we haven't been able to push enough, but that needs to be pushed more and more, is our trying to develop the Aeternian imperial market. When we tried to develop the imperial market, we tried to move into the prestige system pretty quickly, which has still been in development, has still been growing. We actually have our citizenship licenses out, which are like 1/3 of the full system out. So the citizenship licenses out, those are in full swing now. The sovereignty licenses are just starting to get rolled out along with the foreign dignitaries license. We actually had the foreign dignitaries license like up for purchase. It's like starting to get in its fully finalized steps. The last thing we're waiting on is the sovereignty licenses, and I think that will be coming pretty quickly as well. But I want to make a video series. I've been trying to make a video series for a minute describing that, and I think that's a big play into our future. A lot of what we're trying to do right now is to centralize ourselves around Aeternia and to bring the larger community around us into a mechanism that we've built designed to pump out this development of the community, this internal structure to what we're doing. So for us, that's absolutely crucial. You know, having people be able to come into the Imperial Market, our website, our Etsy site, where you can actually purchase goods from the Empire of Aeternia. That's been a way that we've started to make money. We currently have 28 sales. We have people purchasing our Imperial notes to help invest in our purchase of land. We also have the licenses for citizenship as well as the rest of the prestige system available for sale. Those are just hard copy licenses. You actually have to earn whatever specific type of license you want, which is the applications are available on our website. But that license in particular, once you have your digital version of it, which will get sent to you when you meet the requirements of whatever your license is, you can then move forward to actually buying a physical copy and showing that off. We also have the Owl's Mark, the Unity Medal, all things that are continually growing parts of our culture and are making a bigger and bigger impact that we see. We've gotten all that, but we want more. We want to be able to figure out a better way to link up with the community. We want to figure out a better way to bring in cooler new items, more innovation to our culture and the way that Aeternia is perceived, what Aeternia is actually doing to make a mark on the world. So the next step to that, obviously, is to bring the community in. The way that we want to do that is this prestige system. We are trying to develop a way for everybody to be able to interact on a level playing field and to be able to get specific actions done that are to their needs, to their individual needs, whether you're a citizen of the Empire, whether you're a sovereign, whether you're a foreign dignitary from another country. They all have different unique needs that need to be met, but we need an efficient system to be able to meet all of them. So in comes the prestige system. One of the biggest parts of that is quests, being able to have anybody who has the correct prestige on their license. Prestige just meaning a specific benefit of yours. If you have a specific prestige on your license, that allows you to do whatever that prestige dictates. So for citizens, there will be a residential prestige. That residential prestige, when you get it on your license, means you can live in Aeternia. You've met all the requirements to actually live in the Empire and to get a house. And then once you actually have that house, you'll get that residential prestige. As well, the same thing with our foreign dignitaries and our sovereigns and our business owners, our citizen business owners. All of those people are going to need quests. Quests being the ability for someone to actually hire another person for a specific task, a specific quest for them to complete for a given reward. Now that is something that people are going to be able to do through our website, in the quest system that is on there, through the actual quest forum that we will have on our website. That's actually a page on there now. But once we post our first quest, we're going to get things started, we're going to get things out there, and then we're going to have people continue to actually apply for the sovereignty licenses, the citizenship licenses and foreign dignitary licenses, get their prestiges in that, and then be able to use the quest system. But the prestige system as a whole is exactly that standard, that licensing system of figuring out who you are, what you need, and giving you a license that fits that. It also allows us to streamline all of the different benefits that different people would need, different perks to their license and why they would need those, and what access to the Empire of Aeternia and its system needs to be granted to those people, and has simplified it under one prestige system, one benefit system that describes all of the benefits that someone can get and then parses them out to people as they achieve those and as they unlock those. Certain prestiges are only accessible by certain license types. But that will allow for us to be able to give an individualized approach to the people who have these licenses and to figure out exactly what their needs are. So the prestige system is something that is going to be a huge, huge move for our economy and for us as a culture, us as a people, us as a community, even outside of Aeternia. We want this to become something that is inter-micronational. We want this to be something that is worldwide, where people get in on this system and support it and believe in it. Multiple things. Truto says, Joseph Hackley says, I will continue to watch your career with great interest. Thank you so much, Joseph. I appreciate your support. Leanna says, who is the first recorded murderer? That's a great question. Truto says, murder is treatable. A lot of murderers are mentally ill. I don't think normal, sane people would just murder people. Kibe says, I have Wolfboy destroyed Many destroy my servers. Trudeau says people like Wolfboy are sad. Lana says Cain from the Old Testament and the Bible. Trudeau says the thing about the Old Testament is people think it's all one commandment. A good theological study is a collection of theological books. Frog says, hey Winslow, you should say something about orangutanism so I can quote you. I have no opinion either way about orangutanism. That's the quote. There you go. Frog says from my website. I appreciate it. Leona says, Trudeau, not all murders are mentally ill. Some can come up in unstable families and communities and are out of what they learned in those situations. Makes sense. Trudeau says, true. Matt says, I am totally not here. Yo, it's Matt. How are you, Matt? We've been missing you, and I'm excited to talk to you about your role and everything. One thing that's crazy, while Matt's here, I gotta show it off. Dun-da-da! Second on that aristocrat board, Leanna took you over as first aristocrat. Leanna is Aeternia's current first aristocrat. Both the number 1 and number 2 aristocrats are here in the chat right now. This is crazy. I hope everything's going well. Leanna throwing shots out here, saying, greetings, Matt. Long time no see. Matt says, same to you, Leanna. Matt says, why are we talking about Wolfie? I helped Drotus take him over. I just helped Drotus take him over, did they not? Matt says he was causing a huge mess with a bunch of Aeternian supporters. Ooh, what happened with that? A huge mess with a bunch of Aeternian supporters. Goodness, I am very interested. Please keep me updated. What is all that? Also, I want to continue to move forward. Fosro, Wolfboy, Almendria, Associated Nations are just downright terrible. Ooh, I'm sorry. There's a whole meme culture in micronationalism that sometimes I'm not aware of. There's like ongoing feuds and ongoing debates that sometimes they zoop over me, but I for real need to pay attention to it. This is the big thing for me, right? Moving forward with our future and talking about what's important in Aeternia's history. It's not going to be, it's not going to be just video creation. It's not going to be just this reach up to smaller checkpoints. It's going to be what we can do to actually move forward in micronationalism and make an advance that is completely unique to Aeternia. And I think the big shoot for that is going to be our prestige system, and specifically its integration into our imperial market and how that works. The big continuation there is through as well advancing our technology. As one of these things grows, the other grows, and it kind of plays off of each other. But the big tent that we're trying to raise right now is our prestige system, and we hope that more people will get involved and get supportive of that. Frog Sauce says, who the heck is this Wolfboy fella? Chico says, how do you not know him? Matt says, so this person named Wolfie had many nations before, but the thing about all these nations, they are raiders, so once he started doing mass raids and attacking on Aeternia, attacks on Aeternia and micronational supporters. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Also, that sounds like just garbage. I don't know why they do that. Lana says, Matt, they're just jealous that a micronation isn't as awesome as Aeternia. Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all are help it out. Even when people fire shots at Aeternia, we just still walk over. It's great. Chito says, I saw his face. Ooh. Matt says, Discord, I stepped in then to help take them over and stop their tyranny on the supporters of Aeternia. These are great stories. I actually would just love to see these. Matt or Drew or somebody, I would love to see like the interesting build up and saga and description of how these things work and why they work, all the drama just broken down in a video. I would love to see that. I would post that on the channel, and it'd just be meanwhile, in the Empire of Aeternia, and it's while Emperor AP was giving discussions about the future of the nation, Matt, current second aristocrat, right behind Leanna, is trying to come back and regain regain the first aristocrat position. But while he does so, he must stop a raid from the Wolfie server, or the Wolfie, the unknown masked raider named Wolfie. We have to stop him. So Matt's going through trying to stop him with his gang of loyal Aeternia supporters. Everybody's trying to build up to fight back. Leanna's condemning Wolfie and their support. They're losing major support in these streets. I would love to see it. I'm really excited. If we could make videos about that, I would love it. I'd love to just hear the stories and just make cool stuff. Kibe said, Sanctimony and South Nord destroyed Fosro. Hey, awesome. Matt says he actually is not gonna lie. He said it in chat once. Leanna, I hope I spelled. Trudeau says actually it seems if he is banned by Discord. Crazy. South Nord says Sanctimony and South Nord destroyed them. Drew says whoa, Leanna. Matt says, is this what they said? Drutus did the main bombing. South Nord and Sanctimony are recovering, supporting Drutus. Interesting. Drew says big purchase. Yeah, absolutely. Trudeau says the micronational Discord community is utter raider trash. Oh goodness. But we're building it up though. We have like a little oasis in the desert, so to speak. We are trying to survive the drought out there, and I think we're doing well. South Nord says I know. Matt says Fabin, Delia, and Forzo has fallen either way. Leanna says, one of the things I love about being an Aeternian is that we can disagree about things, but we always unite to defend Aeternia. I completely agree with that. And that's one of the things that's so important to me about leading Aeternia, and why I am so passionate about this, is because I understand that this is more than just my thing. This is now becoming a group of people who are saying we need better lives. We need to be able to improve our situation. We need to be able to have something of our own to start from. Nobody's giving us nobody gives us a place to start out. Nobody helps us to provide for ourselves, helps us to shore up our weak points. We believe we can be stronger together than we are apart. And so that is something that I know is crucial to every Aeternian. And I think those core tenets and those core ideas of wanting to make this thing a reality and wanting to have your piece of the pie, wanting to have your mark on the beautiful canvas that is Aeternia, is important, and it needs to be valued, and it needs to be recognized, and you need to be recognized for the thoughts that you have and the way that you have helped to develop things, even if it goes against others. And I respect that, and I hope to see more of that in Aeternia. I want to push for that. I want to advocate for us being a more open, more transparent, more inclusive group, because we are a monarchy. And it's crazy to think, well, just democracies can have this transparent, and everything else is going to just fall apart. But I really think that our nation can actually push forward with sincere growth and with sincere development, so long as we all do continue to be very direct and open about what we want and express that to each other. I think it makes us better as a community, because it pushes us to make tough decisions as a group, and it allows for the benefits of that to come out for those who started to support it from the beginning. Leanna says, greetings, Drew. Matt says, external affairs. Drew says, hello, Richard. Hey, thank you both, Matt and Drew, for joining us. Drew, I am excited to talk to you more about your citizenship. As soon as you can submit a video, we would love to have your citizenship get started. As well, Matt, it's good to see you. Do you think you're going to be trying to chase back that #1 spot on the aristocrat board? Frog says, I made a website. Hey, congrats. Kibe says, we laughed so hard right now. I'm glad to hear it, Kibe. As well, if you enjoy the streams, please subscribe, please comment, please share the videos. That's a huge thing. There's a weird thing in the micronational community right now where like some people really like us and like really like talk about our stuff, and then other people have no idea who we are. So we want to try and at least become well known and get a conversation started, you know. That's ultimately the idea. There are nations who disagree with us. There are nations who always have different opinions, but I don't think we've ever met a nation that is sincerely trying to work with us and trying to understand our point of view and we understand theirs, who has ever walked away like dissatisfied. I think we really have something special in trying to build Aeternia, and I think we have a good starting point in the community. So I want that to continue. I want to see who's out there, and I want to make more friends. Multiple things. Correct, Androtrus and Forzo became a Druze colony. Sanctimonia was bombed at the very start of the war, and the second war they didn't play any part. Oh goodness, now it's a war. Drew says, I have a feeling AP is going to just use AI Dungeon to predict the Empire of Aeternia this stream. That would be very cool. AI Dungeon is very cool. I actually probably could have done that. That would have been a meme. Matt says, both Southno and Sanctimonia only planned the actions, but Jertus executed them. Yes. Frog says, AI Dungeon 2 is a good software. It is a fun game. Joseph says, it is still a very small community with mostly Sealand and sometimes Molossia coming into people's view. I hope to get to see this community grow. I agree. I think that's one of the things that's crazy about the micronational community. There are actually a lot of micronations out there. Very few of them get seen. And when they do get seen, it's somebody else who's like a YouTuber doing something completely different, who just goes like, what are micronations? And then Kevin Baugh from Molossia is like, we made a micronation, and the person's like, you did what? And it's like, yeah, we made a micronation, and it's like, whoa, and that's the entire video. And it's like, that's micronationalism. It's that guy. You remember that guy, or Sealand, like he said, them going, so this guy had a fort, micronations, da-da-da-da-da, credits. It's garbage, and I hope we do get that out there. I hope Aeternia can at least say, hey, there is more to the micronational community than you think. Take a look at us. We're important. There's a reason we're doing this. Kibbe says agreed. Frog says, yeah, Winslow, how are you gonna predict the future? You know how I'm gonna predict the future, Frog. Don't even pretend like you don't know. You telling me orangutans can't predict the future right now? Frog says, because I don't think you can use in science. Ooh, you can use in science. That's how you can just plot trends. You ever see what economists do as a job? They just plot trends and make assumptions. That is exactly what you can do with science. Drew says, the long last conquest of getting my citizenship may come to an end soon. I'm so excited, yes. He will use science with the power of calculus to calculate the exact future. Of course. Integral. You gotta sum over the curve, bro. Matt says, Emperor AP, so far Aeternia is at a rapid growth in the community itself, so I think we should be fine with recognition. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Matt. And I appreciate that as you being our second aristocrat. Having somebody who has invested in the community and is excited about it really helps to push what we're doing. And I want that to become in more of an official capacity. I know we have potentially talked about a government position for you, and I would like to consider that as well, because that's something that, you know, if you have the time and ability for that, can just be very, very helpful. But it's all about, you know, trying to figure out what's best. I know you as well mentioned wanting to start a business, and that would be a great way to help Aeternia as well. Frog says, is there nations that are like incredibly against you? That's one of the things that I was kind of saying earlier with, like, I haven't met a micronation who's gone from the table dissatisfied. We had like a little back and forth with Darren for super president, but Jar, I like kind of, I never say somebody's not a micronation, but Darren said that his reasoning for being a micronation was specifically to donate to charities, which is good, but is not inherently what a micronation is about, in my opinion. So we had like a back and forth there, Darren ended up like quitting his micronation, like ending it, and just being like, this actually isn't what I thought it was, and it's like not what I want to get into. So I'm gonna make the like gaming channel, and that's ultimately what he found his niche in, and I'm excited for him. Like, I'm happy for the dude. That's the only nation that I think we've ever had a back and forth with, and it was just because of a disagreement about like what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it. Just because I felt like it was weird. The micronational community has so little like funding already to it that like pulling it away for someone who's legitimately just not trying to start a nation, which is fine if you're not trying to start a nation, but just be real about it and don't be like hitting up people with money being like, we're gonna do all the crazy stuff if you're not. Trudeau says the micronational Discord community is Raider heaven. Drew says, Leanna, fair point, but I'll catch back up to the battle to the aristocrats, a never-ending battle. That was very cool. Leanna said, big purchase. Drew, I'm just doing my part to support the cause. I appreciate that. That means a lot, Leanna. Honestly, you have helped to move this board. I do want to make that a clear point to everybody. So far, we are over a 20th of the way toward our goal. Meaning, if we get this number less than 20 more times, and less than 19 more times, we will hit our land purchase funding. We will be able to put down money for a land. And we've gained this in just a little over a year, pretty much. So I would say that we will be, if this continues in an accelerating trend like I think it will, within a few years we will probably have our land and be setting down roots, trying to grow things, trying to plan larger operations. And that's what the point of it is. So thank you so much, Leanna, for that. Just helping us to move that bar closer and closer toward bigger things. And what we hope to do in the time being is not just wait for that very long away endpoint. Instead, we want to make sure that we take the money that is in our economy, that is being invested in those notes and in the profit from the rings and the metals that we have, and using that to be able to fuel smaller short-term goals, which will be able to provide us an increment in that return. So hopefully every time our economy grows a little bit, it's growing by a digit, or it's growing by a very large degree. So that's the hope, and I am excited to be explaining more about what those individual projects are going to be as we move through them. And like I talked about, two of the biggest ones, being the quest system and the prestige system at large, and then as well our continuing progress on our technological developments for expanding our industries. Trudeau says, I once had a micronation try to make me help him destroy Aeternia. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How did he try to make you? Also, I appreciate that you didn't. Trudeau, that's very cool. I would love to hear anti-Aeternia stories. We could straight up, if people filmed or recorded their voice talking about like anti-Aeternia stories or like describing them, we could do a video that's just a mashup of those different anti-Aeternia stories, and we could like hit them up and make them dramatic and stuff. We could put background music, we could put like crazy images. It'd be cool. Frog says, wait, for real? What micronation? Drew said, this ain't no prediction stream, this is some tea. It is some tea, but it's a prediction about what's happening in the future. My prediction for the future is that within a few years, we're going to hit land. Within a few years, we are going to be not just in one industry, but in 3 or 4 industries. We're going to have people who are actually creating their own businesses in Aeternia that we are able to profit off of, that we are able to use to expand. I think we are going to be a multifaceted, multi-project nation. Within a few years, we will be at the next level, and the next level isn't a tiny step up, it's a jump, it's a whole thing. And that's the game changer right there. We're in a very big transition state right now, so it's important to support us. And I am blown away by people like Leanna who have seen the need for that and have moved on it. And I want to express that to everybody else as well. Don't support something that you don't feel like has a value to it, or that you don't feel like is supplying you with a value. But We hope that the products that we offer are genuinely useful and are something that people like. And if not, we want to find things that they do. We are trying to use all of this to make something bigger and better. And so we have to start off with good materials in order to make a good finished product. So as we develop these, we want to make these improvements that are necessary to get everybody as excited as we can about Aeternia, and to make sure that all of the plans are thought out and developed and paid for and up and running as we get started, so that this isn't, our first time out. This isn't something where we're inexperienced. We are ready to go. We know what we want. We know how we need to make our moves, and we can do it with as high an efficiency as possible. That's my prediction. That's my prediction for what our future is going to be. Is going to be continued driving, just clawing every bit of our way to try and earn some growth. But as we do that, feeling the support of this community wrap around us and continue to push us up, and feeling those larger and larger weights be able to move under our hands. It will still always take effort, but we will see that each clawing grip, each pulling, each attempt at the top will be pulling mountains along with it as the community pulls with us. So that's the idea, and I think that is something that is not just a short skip away. This is something that's a big move for us, and is going to require some serious planning, some serious steps. So please stay with us through that. Trudeau says micronational Discord community is a raider heaven. Drew said lay on a fair point. I'll catch back up to the battle to the aristocrats, a never-ending battle. Matt said agreed. Frogs and Sauce says of course. Okay, so we've heard some tea back and forth about Leanna, Matt, and Drew, who we can actually see where they all line up on the board. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. The top 3 aristocrats. Leanna Taylor, brand new first aristocrat, current first aristocrat in Aeternia, is actually trying to come up and to make some big changes. Matt and Drew both trying to sneak back the office. It seems like Drew is trying to make the come up that he hasn't had yet. He may be trying to get first aristocrat, but it looks like Matt may also be trying to get that comeback. So we will see how it goes. And I appreciate you all for your continued pushing and striving to get our economy growing. Frog says, of course. Frog says you try to contact orangutan guy. Kibe of South North says, I told my history teacher about micronationalism and we got into a 1-hour conversation. What did they think of it? Let me know. Matt says, what's sad is Aeternian supporters that aren't raiders who own servers on Discord like Aeternia are the ones getting attacked, and not just the supporters of Aeternia and many others too. I agree, it's absolutely garbage. The thing that sucks is you can't ever fully stop raiders. You can't stop people who are going to be jerks. You just have to have as good a moderation as you can. You have to be able to limit it as much as possible, and you have to try to make an environment that doesn't invoke raids. You know what I mean? That doesn't make that not make it possible, it's always possible, but tries to reduce the likelihood of it. And it's never, it's never something easy, it's never something that's going to work 100%. But in trying to move forward with having your server know that it's going to be something that's inevitable, but that you can minimize by keeping the right community and by creating the right moderation. Drew says, Frog says he doesn't really have a prayer system, mostly because he doesn't need it. Drew says, Kibe, how'd that end? Frog says, bro, what are even the cons of Aeternia right now? The cons of Aeternia. Ooh, this got me. I don't know. Cons of Aeternia. We don't have land yet, but we're getting it. We have invested a lot in the different projects that we have and the methods that we're going about them. So I guess if everything all at once just poof, it would be bad. but it doesn't seem really like sensible that would happen because of the way that we've stacked things and because of the way that we've developed them. We all have kind of these simultaneous things growing, and the idea for that is that if any one of them started to like mess up or get worse, we could just invest more heavily in the others to continue growing, while of course trying to support that industry, but not sinking all of our money into this one thing and hoping that it never fails. But that's kind of the look at that we have to focus on with other micronations as well. You know, when we look at what are the potential flaws of Aeternia, what are the flaws of other micronations? If your nation is putting a lot into this like one thing and really trying to make it work, that may be difficult. It just may not get you exactly where you want to go. Drew says, Frogs, the cons are long process and other small things. Other than that, it's a great nation. There isn't really problems at all. Hey, I thank you, Drew. And yeah, I agree. I think one of the things, citizenship, people like really quick citizenship processes. They like to just be able to go up to a micronation and say, hey, I like your nation. It's like, thanks, now you're a citizen. Aeternia does have like a more involved process, but it's for a reason. It's because we want Aeternian citizenship to be something that gives benefit. And so if it gives benefit and helps out, that would be the point. Lana said, let's do this Aeternia forever. Hey, Aeternia forever. Drew says, Leanna challenge accepted. Drew says, that will be more than doubled by the end of the year. Hey, very cool. Drew says, Trudeau, that is basically the channel where the history stuff. I am excited to see more about the history stuff. Drew, I know you said you were working on that. Drew says, alright, but soon as my money comes in, Leanna, there will be a new board. Aeternia shall be forever in the future. Hey, I appreciate you, Drew. Thank you very much. Matt says, I'm tempted to write a book or something about the 2 wars with Wolfie. You should. I would love it. I would say, please, you could do a book. I would do a video. If you do videos, people will just love it, and a ton of people will watch it, and they won't feel like obligated to like read the book. Like, it'll just be really cool. I think it's a great way to get the lore out there. Frog says, if I joined Aeternia, you would have like 5 Western territories. Ooh, that's very cool. Frog says, unless that's not how it works. So, in a way, yes and no. If you like actively ran and owned the properties, then yes. But if not, then no. Like, it would be on how much you're trying to get involved, because we do have opportunities for like lords in Aeternia, for people to like start actual parts of Aeternia where they are. We just haven't had one yet, because as involved as the citizenship process is, having a territory is even more involved. And so that's something that we're looking into further and further, but we would just have to get really good and conclusive terms with something else. But real quick, I'm going to run through the comments and then we're going to start winding down. I will check the monetization check real quick before we go though. Trudeau says, basically the guy said Aeternia ruined the community and AP is only nice on camera to be liked, and apparently AP is a gangster. He wanted to make a new secessionist community. Interesting. First off, I'm flattered. You know, if people think I'm a gangster, I'm cool. I feel cool. I feel like those shades should like drop down and y'all know the meme. Y'all know I can't do the beat to it, but the meme where it's like you're sitting and then the like sunglasses fall down onto your face. I love it. I guess I worry about that, like coming off insincere on camera. But I don't think I am. Like, I don't know. Just playing a game. But I do want to ask Tiff later if I act like ingenuine or like insincere on camera. Because I want to be sincere. Like, I guess hit up Gray about it. Gray's like met me in person. I think it was interesting because Gray and I's meeting was like a little bit awkward right at first because you like haven't ever met the person or like from far away. But Gray and I vibed like really quickly. And I was really excited about it. We talked about a lot. He like taught me a lot of stuff. So I would be very excited to see Gray again. And I feel like I would want you guys to be able to see me more and more in person, to know, you know, what my heart is and to judge that for yourself. So I feel like, especially with COVID stuff starting to move forward, that's another big thing that we want to get into, is actually going to visit people and going to visit places and hold like, you know, conventions where we actually try and develop stuff with people, try to get nations together to discuss stuff. So I want you guys to be able to actually meet me and to be able to talk to me and to make that determination for yourself. But I'd like to think I am as sincere as I can be. I'm trying to show you guys the way that we develop the nation. I'm trying to show you guys into my personal life and show you what that's like to try and be developing this nation. And ultimately, I hope that it helps. So, it doesn't benefit to give insincerity, I guess, because it makes it harder to actually learn what the truth of the situation is. If I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, if I want you guys to grow through the information that's given on this channel, you gotta show the mess ups and the successes. And I hope that we're doing that. I want to figure out a way to do it better though. Please continue to get feedback on the channel, and please give us ideas, because it's important. Trudeau says he's a hardcore secessionist. I'm sorry to hear that. That's kind of a crazy thing. Drew says, sadly, not probably unless you own the land he approves from. Frog says, and also old videos made by Jet. Very cool. Frog says, also Trudeau, I looked at your national anthem and it's really good. Well done. Hey, very cool. I wonder if they made it themselves. Drew says, also, anyone know the reason all the e-names are spreading in the micronational community? I've seen quite a few. Interesting. That's an interesting trend. I would love to see that as a digi-note sort of thing on micronationalism. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to jump to the bottom of the chat. Matt said he'll be right back. See you, Matt. Joseph said, I'm nearing my nation's 1 year anniversary. Congratulations, happy 1 year. Frog says, whenever I watch your streams, the taste of corned beef always appears in my mind. I like corned beef. I'm glad you like it, and I'm glad the stream makes you think of it. Trudeau says, will AP ever be going to Microcon? These are the questions. Potentially, I'd like to eventually start our own version of a Microcon. But, yeah, it sounds cool. I would love to do it one day. Joseph says, is Microcon happening this year? Leanna said, congratulations, Joseph. Trudeau said, I don't think so. I think it's next year. I think they moved it to 2022 because COVID stuff was going on. They did have it planned for 2021 in Las Vegas, but I think they moved it to 2022 in Las Vegas. But I would have to double check on that. But yeah, I'm excited to be hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much. Real quick, I am going to go check the channel monetization. So right now we have 1260 subs and 2,624 public watch time hours. I believe that might actually be a slight dip down. I need to check back and see just to be sure, but that might be a dip down actually, which is crazy because we had a lot of views the other day. Yesterday we did a live stream that has now 200 views on it or something. But that's been a big thing to helping to move our watch time back. I think for the last few days, I hadn't posted in 5 or 6 days, and so it had just ticked back pretty hard on our watch time. And I think now it's starting to bounce back. So we are actually lower in watch time. Like I said, think of this more as a speed and less a just total number of watch time hours. Because it's watch time hours per year. You have to get 4,000 every 365 days at least. So that means that every day that passes, we need to have more public watch time hours, so that we can get so that we can continue to get more per that year quota. And so yeah, they fluctuate, they go up and down, but we're trying to continue to move them up, and it's something that's difficult. They don't count shorts as a part of it. They don't count anything that's unmonetizable. So there's a lot at stake there. But it's cool for us. It helps us out, and we're slowly moving that needle. Trudeau says, the fuck, LOL. And then Trudeau says, congratulations, Joseph. I don't think so. Yeah, and I appreciate everybody. I appreciate y'all jumping in. Right now, our actual sub count, that shows 1260, but I actually think we're almost to 1270. Let me check our official number there. See what we're at. 1266. So yeah, you see? And it's crazy too, because our watch time has gone up. the last 28 days, it's increased to 236. So we are growing, but let's just see how strong we can keep that. As well, subbing. If you guys can hit us up with like new people, sharing the videos really helps to get new subscribers. And people jump on it. People like take it seriously. When you send them a video, people will be like, oh cool, and then they'll sub, and then they'll like start checking out all the stuff. So find your favorite video of us if you can. Send it out to get people to sub to the channel. And what that does is that actually helps us to increase our like average daily subs, which is as another big thing. That means more people jump in the live streams. It has a whole cascade effect on our community. So, Leanna said, I have a plan to get the watch time back up. Ooh, I'm excited to see, Leanna. I'm very hyped about it. Also, good luck to you all in everything you've been doing. It sounds like everybody's having a lot of big plans. I know Frog's been talking about stuff. Shuto's been talking about stuff. I wanted to say, for all Aeternians here, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for helping, of supporting us, for believing on us, for standing up for us against others. I want to say thank you so much to those nations who also aren't necessarily allied with Aeternia or aren't necessarily supporting Aeternia because there's any like personal benefit for them, but just that you're a supportive member of our community. I want to thank you for that. There are people who were in the comments talking about how they were supporting us, talking about how they were backing us up and protecting people who support us, because there are people who wanted to target Aeternia supporters specifically, and it's sad. That sucks. And I'm so thankful that we have supportive, encouraging community members who can watch out for us like that. And I think that's sort of part of what makes us so cool and why so many other nations may want to tear us down and try and poke at us to see if they can get us to break up, to see if they can get us to disperse. But you all are holding the line. You all are helping us to make sure that we not only stand our own ground, but also expand and can make a pushback and can get toward all of the goals that we're trying to achieve, and trying to achieve with everybody, Aeternian or not. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to jump out of the stream, but I did want to say, prediction, Aeternia is growing. We're growing quickly. We're going to start surpassing some big micronations, some noticeable name micronations fairly quickly within the next year. So I would say check things out, keep up with our statistics, keep up with the stuff we're doing, and continue to help us to grow, because the quicker that you guys help us to grow, the quicker that we get past these bigger names, which gives us even more clout, which gives us even more support, which gives us even more ability to grow and develop. Thank all the people behind the scenes who are helping this to happen. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Gray. Thank you, Leanna. Thank you, everybody who's helping us. Thank you, Tiffany. Because Tiffany's wonderful and she's supporting me every day and helping me to make this channel great. So, thank you all so much. My prediction is success for Aeternia for the future. That sounds simplistic, but looking back at the data that we talked about tonight, looking back at the reasons for why we're doing things, we have a heavy-handed future in front of us. We have some projects that are going to be real doozies that I think are going to knock people down when they see what's happening. We're putting this support that has started a fire under us into creating the flames of change. We are trying to build not some small spark fire, but a roaring blaze, and we are feeding that actively. So we hope to see some successful returns in that. If it's anything resembling what we have so far in our YouTube channel and in our Etsy store, we are going to have an incredible future ahead of us. And it's all thanks to you. So I hope to see you in it, and I'm excited to see you next time. Thank you all very much, everybody. And again, I want to show my thanks, show my support. And I want to tell you all that I hope you have a good night. Wherever it is that you are, whatever it is that you're doing, know that Aeternia appreciates you, and we are excited that you are helping to make a change in whatever part of the world you're in and whatever you're doing, micronationalist or not, Aeternian supporter or not. You are helping to make the world a better place and a more interesting place to live. So thank you for being you, and I will see you guys next time. Leanna says, good night, AP. Aeternia forever. Aeternia forever, Leanna. Have a good night. Leona says lots of love to Tiffany. Tiffany said lots of love. Tiffany's playing a game. She's saying lots of love. There she is, the cool girl. Kibe says, long live Aeternia. Long live Aeternia, Kibe. Long live Salthor as well. Chucho says good night. Edwin says good night. Thank you so much for hanging out, Edwin. Have a good night. Bye, everybody. Bye. Tiffany, bye. Bye. Bye.